British Columbia, Canada. And we know that some of you are close by, while we have others viewing across Canada, the United States, and different parts of the world, as far as Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm from. So welcome all.
And I'm Anne-Marie's other half, Peter. Many of us who are performing or viewing today are from different faith backgrounds. So we just wanted to start by saying thanks to the Creator for this wonderful opportunity to be together. And to share the gift of peace. And that would be both inner peace and outer peace.
And this show commemorates the United Nations Day of Living Together in Peace. And we'd like to start with a short excerpt from a video about this important United Nations Day.
Imagine a world with fewer conflicts, less violence, less individualism, less predation towards nature. Imagine a world where difference would be an asset. Imagine a world where education for peace would be a priority. Imagine a world where humanity would build its future with one another and not one against the other. This world is possible if each of us works together in synergy with the other to build a society of living better together in peace. On December 8th, 2017, at its 72nd session, the UN General Assembly unanimously adopts, by a consensus of 193 member states, the resolution establishing May 16th each year as the International Day of Living Together in Peace. This day is an invitation for everyone to commit to a more just and fraternal world. A means to strengthen the bonds of mutual respect and reconciliation of the members of the human family. Let us commit on May 16th to join our efforts and face the challenge that awaits us. All of us will gain from this.
Great. Well, you can see the full video, because that's just a short segment, on the website www.may16.org. And there's certainly more information available too on the United Nations website. During this show, we have enabled a text chat if you'd like to communicate with each other that way. The way we're set up here, we're not able to view the chat live, but we do have one of our wonderful board members, Susan, who can respond on behalf of Reach, and we look forward to
reading the chat
afterwards. And just a short hello to Sue thank you for doing this for us, and happy birthday to Susan today.
And if you'd like to let us know where you're viewing from, that would be great. Okay. So many of you know that this show is produced by West Coast Reach Association, which is a young Canadian charity established to celebrate diversity of ages, cultures, and abilities through the performing arts.
And this show will be just about an hour. And special thanks to Pedro and his partner, Alexa. Pedro is live streaming this show for us and is our host. Love to see you, Pedro, if you can come on screen with Alexa and say hello. There you guys are.
And both of them are wonderful mentors for Reach.
Absolutely.
Volunteers.
And we couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. So much appreciated. And very busy people too. Thank you for taking the time. You may see us looking upwards a little bit. Yes, we're probably invoking help from the Creator, but we also have some little cue lines up there, so we're not looking down, we're looking up. Anne-Marie, so you're next up there.
So we're really excited to introduce our first performers, and they are Heather Christine and Matt Zaddy, River North from Ontario, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
That's right.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Are you there?
Hey.
Hey.
You guys, thank you so much for sharing your spirit and your music with us to both start the show, and we'll have a song from you
Later
towards
on.
the end. But the words to your songs and the spirit in which they're performed so much exemplify what we wanted to do today.
So wonderful. This song that you're going to share with us, you have two other performers, right? With you?
Absolutely. This song is called We Are the North, and it was written in honor of Mississauga's 150th anniversary, and it was co-written with two writers by the name of Arlene and also The Identity Crisis.
Yeah, we have a group together called From Far and Wide, and this was our first collaboration together. Actually, it was to celebrate Canada 150.
Canada 150.
But the song ended up becoming Mississauga's official anthem for the Canada 150 celebration, so we were
so nice. Well, and so appropriate for today.
So
thank you. And music brought these two together, just like it brought you and I together.
Yeah.
So a lot of things in common. Of course, you guys are better looking, but
I'm not young.
Oh, go on.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thank you. So we also pre-recorded a bit of an interview with Heather and Matt, and we've got a short clip of that just before the song. So we're ready to roll with that. We are the song We Are the North. Enjoy. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
What does that term, living together in peace, mean to you? What do you think that might look like?
Tolerance and acceptance.
Open-mindedness and the willingness to learn about other cultures.
Willingness to grow.
To be accepting, yeah.
And willing to admit when we're wrong. Because sometimes we do things for a long period of time, and we all have our own lens. And sometimes it takes a voice from somewhere else to point out our blind spots. If we're going to achieve understanding and we're going to achieve common ground, sometimes we have to be willing to learn and to let go of certain things. It's part of the process.
It's not perfect, like Matt said. One of the lyrics in our song is,
we know
it's not a perfect road. We know that we've got far to go, shaking hands, changing minds, a future that is unified.
Yeah, I was going to say that We Are the North song seems to fit pretty well with your theme here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Often heard the sound of hope and dreams uniting you and me. Underneath the same blue sky, our canvas is diversified, shaking hands, changing minds, the future that is unified. We are the North, we are the strong, we are together and we are free. We are the North, we are the beneath the surface we know love's a common theme.
No matter where you're from, or if you're old or young, we got a place for you in our community.
We know it's not a perfect road. We know that we've got far to go. Shaking hands, changing minds, a future that is unified. We are the North. We are the strong. We are together and we are free. Sloan Park, Meadowville, 5 and 10 Malton, Clarkson, Arundel, Streetsville, Cooksville, Glen Forest, Square One, Fieldgate, Woodland, show the world that was done. Shout out to Bonnie Crombie, Ill Scarlet, Party Next Door, Don Cherry, Billy Talent, Mike Bullitt, Oscar Peterson, Santino, Rich Kid, Strombo, can't forget Hazel McCallion.
Yeah.
Such a great way to start the show.
Absolutely.
Wonderful
Perfect.
energy. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, River North. And we look forward to hearing your other song later in the show.
Did you notice we're wearing our red Reach shirts, and I'm like a chameleon, so I turn the color of what I'm wearing, right?
In the past few weeks, we had the privilege of interviewing our guest performers and presenters and some of our own Reach members. And we'd now like to share with you a short video clip from Jenna. And Jenna is one of our youngest members of the Reach Performing Company, which is an inclusive, dynamic group that celebrates diverse abilities in rehearsals and performances.
Her thoughts on peace.
Yeah, Jenna. You excited?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great. Great.
So we wondered, what does peace mean to you? When you hear the word peace, what do you think about?
Loving and caring for people. Loving people as individuals, like one by one.
Mm-hmm. And you know, our show is called Piece by Piece.
Yeah, that's it.
What would you like to tell them about living together in peace?
And I think also behave yourself. Yeah, peace is understanding and loving.
Jenna, lots of fun in that group. So we have seen a lot of quotes about peace recently, both inner and outer peace. And some of them very clearly indicate that outer peace is a product of inner peace, or that inner peace has to come first. So we're really thrilled to have with us a group performing a number that they call Awakening. And it is performed to a song called Inner Peace that is sung by beautiful chorus. And the group performing is called A Justice Network. They're based in Seattle, Washington, but a number of the participants in this number are from across the United States. So it's a collaborative. And the mission of A Justice Network, and I'm going to read this, is to use the arts to affect positive social change and to bring the diversity of dance and performance art to communities worldwide.
Yeah, and the full video can be found on the website, ajusticenetwork.org. And they wanted us to be sure to mention their sponsors, Shunpike, whose logo is also at the end of the video segment.
And this video includes our choreographer as well. Laura Lee is in this presentation as well. And we have a little bit of a video of her sharing some thoughts on peace before the number as well. So is it possible to have world peace if individuals are not at peace with themselves?
I think it starts with individuals being at peace with themselves.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely the foundation. It's hard to build anything peaceful if you yourself are in a state of anxiety, sort of like the I always call it like the earthquake beneath your feet. If the earth is shaking beneath your feet, it's hard to feel any kind of, you don't feel stable. So it's once again, that inner peace provides the stability upon which a life of peace and happiness can be built.
Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace from my center, at the center of me. Please let me feel peace from my center, the center of me. Please let me feel peace from my center and the center of me. My heart is open, I am aware, in me's a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open, I am aware, in me's a knowing of love, 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 love.
The show is commemorating the United Nations Day of Living Together in Peace. And just wondering what that might look like to you or what it means to you.
Well, I think it's very clear that we're living in an age when our planet has shrunk down into a neighborhood, and we're an interdependent world community. The words and actions and of us as individuals or companies or institutions or national leaders, they all have a profound effect on how this world functions and how we as individuals sort of react to that. So I think living together in peace means living in a state of mutual respect, where people of every race, religion, culture, nation are respected. And I think one of the songs that we do in Reach is a good reflection of that. It talks about how we're all the flowers of one garden. And if you think about that, even though we're all of a different color and we all have something, a different kind of beauty to offer to the world, each of us is endowed with rights and responsibilities. And I think we're here to sort of develop our own potential and utilize that potential to create a world of peace. And that all starts with us as individuals, in our families, and in our communities.
And Laura mentioned there the song Flowers of One Garden. So it's a great introduction because we have that song next. It's performed by members of our Reach groups, including, thanks to virtual, members from Northwest Territories and as far as Trinidad and Tobago and Ray's homeland. And there are some parts in this that are from live performance that were recorded before COVID. So when you see people not masking, that's why. And it has such a wonderful message. This song was written by Gerald Morris, Flowers of One Garden.
And when it's hard to make sense.
I'll see it after I say it.
Each is one of a kind. We know that each of us has virtues. We know that each one can grow. We know that each one has capacity.
No, say it first.
We know that each one can
No, that's I'm talking about.
Disability and
make sense of it all. I wanna holler, yell, shout out and call. Each one is important. Each is one of a kind. Each one is important. Each is one of a kind. Each one is important. Each is one of a
Flowers of one
Yay.
garden.
Thank you, Reach. As you can see, we have great fun in our Zoom rehearsals. And if you've joined us since we started, welcome, everyone. This is Piece by Piece. And I know we have viewers. We just got a message. Yes, from Trinidad and Tobago, Grand Junction, USA, Smith Falls, Guelph, Ontario, Western Quebec, Oregon, Langford, BC, Vancouver, BC. Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Great, great.
Well, as you saw in the video, a number of our members have a significant disability, and it takes extra work and determination on their part and those who support them to be a part of our rehearsals and performances. And for this, we are really grateful.
And next we have a short video clip of interviews with two of our Reach Performing Company members, Casey and Susie. And Casey mentions friendship, and Susie, the importance of family. Casey, this show coming up is celebrating the International Day of Living Together in Peace. And I'm wondering, what might that mean to you? What might that look like to you, living together in peace?
Friendship, and make it a happy place for other people. Listening to other people and helping the other people out. It didn't matter what country you're from or what province you're from. You can still help the people out.
Can you tell us again what you think living together in peace would be like?
What that means to you?
Living together with a family and helping each other when people need to be helped. A love of peace is a very good thing when you're in a family or when you're in a group of people. Love is supported to help each other.
Yes, Susie and Casey, so true. Our Reach programs and performing groups and our guest performers and presenters really reflect diversity of ages, cultures, faiths, and ability. And one of the advantages of doing a virtual show like this is that we can have our guest performers and presenters from other parts of Canada and the States.
And if you weren't on right at the beginning, we did explain that if you see us looking upwards, we're looking at our cue sheets up here. We're not just rolling at our eyes at what the other person is saying. So we are really delighted to have with us today, performing for us, the Marilyn, Yadultin, Jensen, and the Dhaka Kwan Tlingit dancers from the Yukon. And I want to say that when I was a youth, a long time ago, I was living and working in the Yukon and trying to find my path. My mother had recently passed away, and I was a bit of a lost soul. And Marilyn's mother and her grandmother took me in and under their wing and showed me a whole lot of love and really helped me at a difficult time. So I'm forever grateful for that. Yeah. Is there something special in the Indigenous culture that can contribute to the world living together in peace?
Right, absolutely. So, you know, because you had that experience of being there, Peter, as like such a young youth, you know, and, you know, just hearing your stories and seeing like just how much my mom loved you and how you just became a part of that community. And I think that in itself, it really demonstrates the really open and loving, hospitable and kind nature of our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though, you know, we do have our kind of internal struggles and, you know, we deal with lateral violence and things like that. But really our true nature, you know, really down at heart and spirit level, are kind, beautiful and noble people, right? That share and that welcome and say, yeah, I have like 10 berries left, but I will give you some, you know, or I will show you how to fish, right? I will show you like the beauty of our land and I'll share, you know, I'll share my story with you. Right. And it's, you know, it's not a perfect story, but it's our story, you know, and I think that's what Indigenous community has to offer in regards to peace.
We're not First Nations people from 200 years ago pre-contact. We're First Nations people that have a really interesting dark history in this country, and so now we're coming out of that. It's powerful that we have the ability to be able to control the parameters of how we reemerge into the world.
Each person in the group is an artist of some sort. All of us have this desire and passion within us to be creative.
We have two different views and two different worlds coming together to try to make something that works.
Because we were doing the really true fusion piece more in a traditional style, and we really take it in a whole new electronic direction.
In our art form, I think a lot of people are scared of technology. It doesn't necessarily make you a more creative person, but it gives you the ability to be able to try new things and to evolve.
Living together in peace and the word reconciliation and peace seem to go hand in hand. Canada has been messaging a lot about the importance of truth and reconciliation. How are we doing with that?
Well, that can be a tricky question, you know, because yes, definitely realize that the government of Canada has really been messaging reconciliation. But I think you know, for you know, the community level, it could be a bit more challenging, right? Because, you know, a lot of Indigenous communities are really, really challenged and struggling
with very, very difficult, situations, whether that be excessive poverty, as we know, the murdered and missing women, and men as well. People really, having a hard time with healing and all of that, So a lot of communities, I feel, would say we're not being respected, and we're not being heard, or we're not really, experiencing what reconciliation means. So I think, the word is out there. People are becoming aware of the concept. I think we've made, progress on some fronts. We still need to work on it.
We are the Dhaka Kwan dancers of the inland Tlingit Nation, alongside our friend Danielle Ashley, also known as DJ Dash. We're trying something new. We're going to blend our traditional song and dance with modern day electronic music.
Wow. Thank you, Marilyn, for really important perspective on peace and the Dhaka Kwan dances. Beautiful. From the Yukon.
Our Reach shows and performances are usually in person. Since COVID, of course, we've been doing everything virtual, and we've been able to actually add some virtual programs new. One is a weekly sing-along, public sing-along for free as a community service that really helps people feel connected and lifts people's spirits. And we've started a program in conjunction with the Garth Homer Center in Victoria that is especially tailored to adults with developmental disabilities and those who work with them and their family members. And Anne-Marie also does a wonderful program called Music and Movement or Magic with children of refugees and new immigrants through the Intercultural Association preschool. And we're told that these children are reached through this music and movement in ways that are just unimaginable. And it brings great joy to those, especially who have been impacted by significant trauma. So it's a real privilege for us.
Definitely. Yeah. And you can learn more about us if you search West Coast Reach Association.
And our next performer, Ali Youssefi from California, and his short interview, but also his wonderful musical presentation called Waves. And Ali, we're wanting to wish your wife the best. I know she's not well today. You were hoping to be with us live today, but wanted to also thank Bob Ryan for doing the editing that put the video and the interview segments together for this. This song, Waves, is so beautiful. It's an invocation or a prayer to the Creator. And I'm just going to read some of the lyrics. Make us as waves of the sea, united, agreed, through the bounties of thy love. Such lovely work. Ali Youssefi.
Make us as waves of the sea, as flowers of the garden, united agree through the bounties of thy love. Make us as waves of the sea, as flowers of the garden, united agree bounties of thy love. Make all mankind as stars, shining from the same light of glory, as perfect fruit, growing upon thy tree of life. Of the sea, as flowers of the garden, united agree through the bounties of thy love. Make us as waves of the sea, as flowers of the garden, united agree through the bounties of thy love. Make all mankind as stars, shining from the same light of glory, as perfect fruit, growing upon thy tree of life.
Where did you receive the inspiration for this song?
For me, I think one of the reasons that has really moved me to compose in general and to dedicate my time increasingly towards music has always been to have the music I create have a purpose. I'm personally a Baha'i, and I draw a lot of inspiration from my beliefs in the fact that this is a time for unity and humanity, no? And I find I've always found in not only in the Baha'i writings but in the writings of many faiths that really there's great power to these words and great unifying power if we're able to see past some of these differences that we create for ourselves.
What is the relationship in your mind between unity and peace? This particular event is commemorating the International Day of Living Together in Peace. And I think probably there is a strong relationship between unity and peace. Do you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, I feel like there's several stepping stones that we have to work on to achieve peace. Peace is not just, a concept that is going to magically happen. So for me, unity is one of these stepping stones towards peace.
of life, growing upon that tree of life, growing upon that tree of life. Make us as waves of the sea, make us as waves of the sea, make us as waves of the sea, make us as waves of the sea.
Oh boy, Waves of the Sea. And did you see the sea in the background
Oh
there?
boy, I think that's a Caribbean.
Does that remind you of home?
It sure does. Yeah, such a beautiful song and so artistically put together. Beautiful. Thank you, Ali. Well, since COVID, we have been providing all of our virtual programs and shows free, no charge, as a community service. And we are grateful to both the Victoria Foundation and the Norgard Foundation for their support this year. But we also do need, and we rely on financial support from individuals who would like to support the work of REACH.
If you'd like to know more, there is a donations page on our website that gives all of the options. And anybody who does make a donation, because we're a recognized Canadian charity and registered as such, you do receive a donation receipt that is tax deductible. And thank you for considering this.
Well, we know that peace comes from understanding, respect, and appreciating the differences, including racial differences. And we want to share a short video clip from one of our members, Barry. And I think you're going to enjoy this. Very interesting.
So there's different types of peace. It's interconnectedness, though, because you cannot have a personal peace unless you can find something exterior to you that is comforting. You know, there's always conflict out, and that can affect you.
So, Barry, in terms of the social piece in your lifetime, do you think the world is getting closer to that or further away?
Well, in the 60s, it was horrendous, okay? There you say, it's prevalent now. As a youth, I experienced, say, more tension and anger as a youth in the States, as I even feel now. You say that now this is nothing new. This is it's not that it's gotten any worse. In some places, it's gotten better, because I came from a place where the racial hatred was intense. Being born in the States, being born in Jacksonville, Florida, where they had segregation, where blacks and whites could not live together. Segregation, Now, today, if I could not even get married at the time I got married to my wife in 1965 because of laws of segregation in Florida.
And because yours is an interracial marriage, is that why?
Yeah. That's why. That's why. And so that segregation at that time in 65 when I was married, that was a horrible thing. And I was married in Canada, of course, but to come out of that boiling pot, that cauldron of racism and hatred, to be here in Canada, it's a peaceful thing.
Wow. Barry's thoughts there are a great lead-in to our next song called Listen by Red Grammar. And some of the clips, again, this is our REACH group. These are some clips from before COVID. So we're seeing some of the clips with people not masking. I think you'll enjoy this. Listen.
Listen, can you hear the sound? Hearts beating, all the world around.
And that was our version of Listen Reggae Style. Yeah. So thank you again if you're viewing Piece by Piece. Welcome all. We know we have viewers from across Canada and the USA, Trinidad and Tobago, and Zambia. So yeah, quite reaching far and wide. As you saw there, one of our performing groups is Diverse City Singers, and they celebrate diversity of cultures. We have two more of our members, video clips that we'd like to share with you. Haisha from mainland China and Yasmin from Iran. Their perspectives on peace.
Right. So we're hearing a lot, of course, about Black Lives Matter, also about Asian hate. So Haisha's comments about diversity and harmony are very timely. I love the tropical virtual background she has behind her during that interview. It looks like Caribbean as well. We also appreciate Yasmin's perspective that we are all one human family.
When I heard about the peace, the first words come from, for me, is diversity.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So the harmony of the diversity, because Canada is a diversity country. So I think everybody have to respect different cultures. We need to see the truth for the facts, not misleading something. I think that is we should say respect each other, respect the cultures, even respect the skin and the colors from the different diversity of the countries people come from. Then we can feel peace and we can feel the safe living in Canada.
Have you or any others you know of faced discrimination, prejudice, or war in their lives?
Personally, I did, because I came out of Iran at the time when revolution happened. So when you're having a revolution, there is some kind of a war, inner war, between different people in that community.
Yasmin, what can we do, each of us, in our own lives to promote peace?
First of all, we have to personally remember that we are all created by the same God, and in His eyes, we are all the same. So if that's the case, then we look at each person as your brother and sister and a part of your family. That would help. And whatever we say or do, it should be less selfish and more thinking about the others.
Thank you, Haisha and Yasmin. Now, near the start of the show, we featured a beautiful song by River North, Heather and Matt. And we're excited to share another beautiful song by them. This is an original song, This Too Shall Pass.
And it is really relevant for today. The world is really in challenging times with COVID and economic upheaval, war, strife, prejudice. You know, we have a lot of challenges, but this song really is like a ray of hope. This too shall pass, never going to give up.
Yeah, and music, as we know, can bring us all together and lift our spirits. And just before the song and Matt's song, Thoughts on Peace, we have another short clip to share, just a little bit from Haisha.
About music, right? And peace, yeah.
So what can you do to bring about peace in the world? There you are. Bring sunshine into our lives.
Bring the sunshine through the music to everybody.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
I think really music can help you healing your soul and find it peaceful and laughter.
So many ways that I've been feeling. Each day drifts into the next, wondering if there's gonna be an answer. A part of me is hoping for the best, and this too I know shall pass. The skies will clear, we're safe at last. My heart, it knows that this can't last. Never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up.
Lost at sea, it feels as though we're drifting,
searching for a light to guide the way.
and all I can see is hope, but that is waning.
Pushing through as night turns into day, and this too I know shall pass. The skies will clear, we're safe at last. My heart, it knows that this can't last. Never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up.
Well, a deeper part of my soul, it's been calling. A deeper part of my spirit is knowing, and I feel the heart of the world and it's growing. We're gonna be okay.
And this too I know shall pass. The skies will clear, we're safe at last. My heart, it knows that this can't last. Never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up. Never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up. Oh, never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up. Oh, never gonna give up, oh, that this can't last. Never gonna give up, oh, never gonna give up.
I think that we are imperfect beings who do imperfect things. And if everyone were held to justice exactly the way for everything that they ever did wrong in their life, we wouldn't have peace. I think that there has to be an element of mercy in there, because we all make mistakes, and sometimes we pay for them more than others. But if we're going to find common ground in the middle of this to attain some kind of peace, we have to be willing to let some things go. It's the only way it works, because one side will not be willing to show mercy to another side that won't show it the same.
Wow.
And to
I
me,
love it.
that speaks the term forgiveness
100%.
in there, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, and at the heart of mercy is forgiveness.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather and Matt, for sharing your wonderful perspectives and your beautiful music with us. Great. Well, we're nearing the end of our show. One more interview and one song, and both well worth the wait
Yeah,
for.
so I think we'll probably be
Thank you.
finished in 10 minutes. And we've asked Pedro, our host, live stream host, at the very end. We'll stay on for a little bit longer if people are wanting to continue to text chat for a little bit. We are so honored now to have with us Dr. Marilyn Ashford, celebrated author and physician and former president of the International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War, which received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1985. Dr. Ashford, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is so inspiring. I particularly love the Northern Dancers. This has been a wonderful time. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And our interview with you was so full, and we're just only able to share about 3 minutes of it here. So our apologies for that. But I see Pedro has put at the bottom of the screen a website, and is that where people can learn more about the organization?
Yes, it's IPPNW Canada, International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War Canada. That's our website, and you can find out what we're doing there.
Great, thank you. You had mentioned too in the interview segment Dr. Caldecott, and she of course is a celebrated advocate from Australia, I believe. Is that right? For peace and
She was a pediatrician in Australia, and she came to Victoria in 1984. That's when I became involved. She spoke at the university, a very, very powerful, moving speaker, talking about nuclear weapons and telling us stuff I had never heard. I didn't know there were 70,000 nuclear bombs in the world at that time. So,
Wow.
yeah, it changed my whole life.
Oh dear. And in the interview, you mentioned about a quote that you have on your fridge. Would you like to share that?
Yeah, because we didn't include that in this clip, but it was
great.
such a great quote.
Yes, my husband put this on the fridge for me. He said, "You can accomplish anything in this world that you want, as long as you don't need the credit."
Great. Thank you. Pedro, if you can show the interview now, that would be great. Thanks again, Marilyn.
Yeah. I went to hear Dr. Caldecott speak about nuclear weapons, and I was just so shocked that there were 70,000 nuclear weapons in the world. I just could not believe it. And I thought, thank goodness she's out there doing something. But she said in her speech that everyone has to take this on. Everyone has to be involved if we love this planet.
Nuclear war is a huge threat to humanity. We're also seeing other threats really growing so rapidly. The virus is one. The environment and the balance of environment and global warming. Is there a link between peace and solutions to these?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that, because that's what I'm working on now. All of these things are interlinked, as the climate emergency, the health emergency, actually a financial emergency is really just, we're sitting on the cliff. I'm afraid about that one. And the threat of nuclear war is more severe than it has ever been. It seems unbelievable when no one talks about it, except my group. But, it's not commonly discussed. Kids in high school don't know about it. The link is at the level of the United Nations. And what I'm working on now is the huge amount of research and programming that is coming out of thousands of organizations calling for a reform of the United Nations that would mean that we could actually address these issues. The issues have so much in common. They're based on the nation states, the disagreements between leaders of nation states who have personal self-interest as well as power and domination interests. And instead of that, we need a system of global governance that is not bound to the nation state, that is serving, as they say in the UN Charter, we the peoples of the United Nations. One of the famous people at the UN said, the UN Charter begins, we the peoples of the United Nations, determined to rid the world of the scourge of war. And that's the last time anybody ever hears that statement, we the peoples. But we have to get back to that. We have to get back to the ideals of justice and honesty and accountability, transparency, that all depend on people of integrity coming together and then setting the rules and having the jurisdiction of the international courts so that countries that don't follow the rules are held accountable and individual leaders are held accountable.
What a privilege to have Dr. Ashford with us today. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashford. Wow, lots to think about. And to all of our wonderful performers and presenters today, and you for watching the show. We feel truly blessed. Now, one final song.
Well, yes, and before
uplifting.
we start that, just wanted to let you know that the link that you used to connect today will continue on YouTube so that you can look at this show again.
So if you came on late, you
or
can see,
share with your friends if you enjoyed the show. And also many of the performers and presenters who are on today have a presence, either their own website or on Zoom. You can search their names. Some wonderful offerings there as well.
And we'll be sending a link to you via Eventbrite
Yes.
with a short questionnaire about, for some feedback on the show. That way we can improve and grow. And we hope you really enjoyed the show. Please do visit our website, westcoastreach.org.
And of course, yes, if you'd like to make a donation, wonderful too, to help our work. Our final song, A Better Place, really speaks to the optimism that we feel for the world, and sung by the Reach group, unmasked before COVID. And soloist is Mitchell Thatcher, with the fiddle solo by Christina Brooke.
And I think if you'd ask me, what would living together in peace look like? Reach is a good glimpse of that. Yeah.
We're fortunate.
Yeah. Blessed.
Freedom and justice is the melody that lets us shine on. If you feel it through the music, we can make this world a better place. Freedom and justice is the melody that lets us shine on.
yes, we can make this world a better place.
We truly believe that with inspiration and with work together, it is attainable. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thanks again to Pedro for hosting our live stream, for all our wonderful performers and presenters, and for you for taking the time on a Sunday when the weather is pretty nice to be outside.
Pretty nice to help
be with
us commemorate the International Day of Living Together in Peace.
We're going to stay on just for a minute or two in case people want to continue to text chat. We don't see it at this point. We will see it after, but just we'll stay on, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you. Keep well. Stay safe. Many blessings.
Take care. Looking forward to reading those text chat messages when we get a chance. And what a privilege it's been to do this.
Wonderful.
And then to meet some wonderful presenters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Pedro was
Thanks,
on his
Pedro.
on his way up to Parksville here too. So